Chapter 12. The return the hunting party left at dawn. Rose stood at the edge of the village road, her arms wrapped tightly around herself, skirts tugged by the wind. Dew still clung to the grass, and the sky was painted with the faintest blush of morning. A line of men disappeared into the trees, spears slung over shoulders, faces grim and focused. Among them walked Richard. He had held her longer than usual that morning. Neither of them spoke of fear, but it hung thick in the room like wood smoke. When he touched her cheek and kissed her forehead, it was softer, slower, like he wasn't sure he'd get another chance. "I'll be back in 2 days," he whispered, forehead pressed to hers. "And if you've had time to think about what I asked." She nodded before he could finish, heart aching. "I have." "I will?" He gave a lopsided smile, strained but real, then squeezed her hand and turned away. Rose watched him go until the trees swallowed him. She stayed there long after the last sound of footsteps faded, as if hoping the stillness might reverse time and bring him back. The house felt gutted without him. She went through the motions, feeding the chickens, stirring the stew he had prepared the night before. But every corner felt hollow, every creak of the floor like an echo. The silence was heavier than loneliness. It was absence. She lay in his chair by the hearth that night, the firelight flickering across the worn wood and stone, and let her thoughts drift. No word from any town. No name, no family, no search party. No one looking. If they were, she whispered to the dark, they would have found me by now. So what did it matter anymore? Who she'd been or where she came from, if she felt more whole now than she ever remembered being? What mattered was that he had made space for her. He had asked her to stay. But he also loved to kill something. The next day passed slowly. She spent most of it wandering, gathering herbs, tidying the kitchen, touching small things he'd touched, his shirt hanging behind the door, his mug by the sink. His voice lived in the silence, somehow. She thought of his question, his quiet, almost trembling request to name what was building between them. She had felt the answer in her chest. She was ready to give it. But when the hunting party returned, everything changed. It began with the sound of hooves, distant at first, then louder, shouts, the squeak of wagon wheels, excitement. Rose stood with the rest of the village as the men crested the ridge, walking slow and triumphant. Richard was there, mud-splattered and sunburned, carrying his spear with weariness and pride. Behind them, the cart. At first, it was just a shape under canvas. Then the wind shifted. The smell hit her like a blow, burnt hide, copper blood, scorched ash. Her stomach clenched violently. The tarp had slipped. A great wing, torn, veined, scorched, hung limp over the side. A head slumped backward, golden horns matted with blood. Bronze scales glinted dull in the light. Cheers broke around her. "A fine one." "Look at the size of it." Children ran forward, but Rose didn't move. She couldn't. Her knees gave beneath her. The world lurched sideways, sound warping, vision dimming. Then the memories cracked open like lightning, splitting sky, fire, sky, wind under her wings. A horde of smooth stones, carefully arranged. Her sister's laughter echoing through a canyon. Her mother's tail curling protectively around her. Her father's roar warning them to run. Hunters, spears, screams. The last time she saw her family alive, she had gone willingly to the humans, cloaked in Nana's magic, to understand why they hunted, why they killed her kind, why they didn't even try to understand. And they had taken her in, called her Rose, fed her, danced with her, touched her hair like it was something delicate, loved her, or so she thought. And Richard had helped kill this dragon. He had stood beside the others, had cheered, had slain one of her kin. She had trusted him, laid her soul bare beside his, and now all she could see were the bloodstains on his hands. A broken sob escaped her throat. She wasn't Rose, she was Anchiel. No one noticed as she turned and ran. Past Marie's worried cry, past the calls for her to wait. She ran from the bonfire, from the village, from the man she almost loved. She ran into the trees, back into the wild, where the air still remembered who she truly was. She ran until her legs gave out and the forest swallowed her whole.